This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination.
We just broke our 100,000 unit sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
I just finished traveling Southeast Asia for 41 days, and I usually always get sick when I travel, and quite frankly, eating is difficult for me. It's hard to find a restaurant, and I'm spoiled in Austin with my personal chef. Well, I took these little packets with me this time, 30 of them, in my carry-on suitcase. They kept me totally healthy with 11 different secret ingredients. You can see them at nathanlatka.com/juice. I'll tell you more later on in the show. That's nathanlatka.com/juice. Folks, many of you reach out to me and you say, Nathan, so many guests on your show talk about the importance of batching. But whenever I try and batch, you tell me this. You go, Nathan, they don't book back-to-back times. Or they don't show up after they book. It's frustrating. The answer is, guys, you have to use smart tools. I use a tool called Acuity Scheduling at nathanlatka.com/schedule. I'll tell you specifically how I use it later on in the episode. This is episode 639. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning for episode 640 with Bill Bryce. His company is called Pronto Sign. They've just passed 300 enterprise customers with 50 to 500,000 annual contract value. That's the average to help manage secure signatures. Good morning, everybody. Nathan Latka here. Our guest this morning is Tobyn, and he is the CEO of Redbrick, the second fastest growing software company in Canada and the birthplace of a product called Shift. Tobyn, are you ready to take us to the top?
Absolutely.
All right. Tell us first. That's a big statement. Redbrick is the second fastest growing software company in Canada. How do you measure that?
We didn't measure it. It was an independent organization, and I think it was called Profit 5.
How'd they measure it?
They measured it on revenue growth over the 5-year period.
Oh, fascinating. So it's kind of like kind of the Inc. 5000, but for Canada?
Yeah, you could say that. So definitely a smaller version of it.
And what is how old's the company? How many years of data did they have?
They took a full 5-year period. And so I think the beginning was around 2010 and 200,000 in revenue. Mm-hmm. And then we were reported in the range of 10 to 20 million as far as our final fiscal year end.
In 2016 or 2015?
It was 2015 and reported in 2016.
Got it. Very good. And what is the? I guess my question was: was that launch year was 2010 or were you around before that?
Launch year was 2010.
Okay, great. Very cool. All right, cool. So now that we have some of those metrics, tell us what Redbrick does, and after you do that, maybe let's focus in on Shift.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's probably easiest to give you a bit of a history too. You know, the way we started the business was from an app distribution perspective. So we're helping other developers acquire users for their products, usually on a performance basis. So either on a cost per install or a revenue share or a percentage of or like a CPS, cost per sale. And that business ramped up very, very quickly for us. And what we found was
basically an ad agency, right?
Well, it was a very specific software distribution business, and so we had developed our own tools in-house to track and provide analytics internally in order to really grow that quickly. And so over time, we realized that is a business on its own. Let's open that up and acquire software publishers to use our own analytics. And as we did that, we kind of had the desire to build some of our own products. And in some cases, actually use those products as a proof of concept to show how our analytics solutions really worked and how we could grow products using them. And so our main software, our desktop software analytics solution, Deskmetrics, is integrated into Shift, and it's one of the ways we've been able to rapidly integrate on the product and grow it so quickly.
And you say from the website, Deskmetrics currently has 500,000 active users. How do you define an active user?
At least one event in a month.
Okay, and what could an event be? Could it be something as simple as a sign-in?
Yeah, it could be anything, but mostly it's a heartbeat event. So basically, we know that the user is online and active at least once during the 30-day period.
And then what's the relationship between those 500,000 active users and the other metric you put out, which is 800 million downloads tracked?
Well, I guess the relationship is just not all downloads become active users. And so downloads, the reason why we call out downloads versus active users is because some of our technology actually provides attribution. And so attribution can be a complicated thing. It's talked about a lot on the mobile side, but not a lot on the desktop side. So we've developed some unique features in our SDKs that allow us to attribute across from the browser into the desktop environment and connect those together. So the reason why we call out downloads and users is because we can actually attribute those directly together.
Got it. And those of you non-tech folks listening, SDK just means software development kit. That's impressive, though, Tobyn. 800 million. I mean, and it sounds like you come from the world of driving app downloads. So maybe makes sense that number is so high. But give us some perspective for somebody listening right now looking to drive new app downloads for maybe their desktop software. Where would they start?
Well, they can definitely start with us. We can provide some consulting services as far as where to acquire users from. However, I think one of the big sources of user acquisition right now is Facebook. Facebook's got a phenomenal ad platform. Their tracking is one of the best, and the ability to attribute not just on a download, but also multiple points through the funnel and kind of working in conjunction with the solution like Deskmetrics. It works wonders and can optimize very quickly. And obviously with the size of the audience that Facebook commands, you can grow a product quickly if you're using those type of right tools.
How much are you spending per month just on paid acquisition exclusively through Facebook?
We are currently spending probably $30,000. But we've got a commitment to grow to $1 million in a quarter.
Interesting the way you phrase that. You have a commitment. What do you mean by that? Is it just a goal?
Well, it's more of a commitment. We're working closely with some teams at Facebook in order to grow our businesses and some of our customers' businesses. And they're supporting us in a way that requires us to commit to be at a level that is $1 million a quarter.
Yeah, I'm going to try and put more brackets on that, and you can confirm if you can. That basically sounds like, hey, from Facebook, Tobyn, we're happy to give you early access to some of these things we're testing. In exchange, you got to grow your ad spend to this much by this date, something like that.
That's the idea.
Got it. Very cool. Okay, take us through, and then the business model. Let's now focus in on Shift instead of Deskmetrics. So what's the revenue model? How do you generate money? So
the idea behind Shift originally was Electron, the framework. It's really starting to become something we're seeing, in applications like Slack, where you can build once for the desktop and then deploy across all the platforms. And I think Slack's a great example of a company that's done that well. And so we thought, hey, why don't we build software analytics for people that are building on top of the Electron framework? Well, let's show people how to do it. Let's build an app ourselves. So we ended up building Shift to do that. And it turned out after we kind of launched it in preview release in September that it was something that people really wanted. And so what Shift does is light is switch between your Gmail accounts, your Google accounts in general, and between your Mail, your calendar, and Drive. I think a lot of people have had this issue whether or not they're using multiple browsers or incognito mode or the add account method, or they just straight up use IMAP or POP. It's not an easy thing to do. So it was a niche that we wanted to scratch ourselves, and Shift is a great solution. There are a lot of solutions, like I said, but Shift is a great solution for us. And so as we were experimenting this just to showcase our analytics service, we realized that there's actually a great business here on its own. And so we decided to increase the team from a single developer to later in the quarter. I think we had about 10 developers working on the project. And we launched on December 20th, and we acquired about 15,000 new users in a very short period of time.
How'd you do that?
The business model really so the business model is simply software as a service. It's $20 a year. We feel definitely gated by the price of Gmail today, and so we wanted to have some sort of a reasonable amount on an annual basis that we were charging, so we can continue to iterate and roll out the product. And so also by charging for the product, we knew that we could profitably acquire users. So today we're using primarily Facebook, but we're also advertising on AdWords as well as Twitter, Quora. We're on some of the native networks and a couple other places.
And how many total customers are you serving today, Q1 2017, just on Shift?
I think we've seen about 20,000 installs. Okay. On any given day or week, I think we have, so in any given week, we have about 10,000 active users.
Okay.
and our free to paid conversion rate is around the 4 to 5% mark right now.
Okay, so I can take around at a minimum 4% of 20,000, so about 800 paying customers, something like that.
Yeah, and so that was just kind of our this is our initial launch, and we're iterating toward hitting a goal of about 10%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is just like, I mean, this is only 2 or 3 months old, right? Yeah. I mean, by the way, why pick that's a hell of a launch date, 5 days before the holidays. Was that strategic, or your developers must have been killing you, because that's usually when all the bugs pop up and they're on Christmas trying to fix the bugs? Or why'd you decide that date?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It wasn't the original date, like so many projects that you launched. The original date was a week earlier, and so we had to make a tough decision whether or not to launch on December 20th or wait until the first or second week of January. And I decided that based on how we were investing in the product, it was better to get it out there and to get some testing before spending any more money on the development.
Yep. And you said price point was 20 per month or per year?
It's per year.
Per year. Got it. So good. So look, 20,000 installs, 800 paying customers times $20, 16 grand early on. That's a good way to say, hey, yeah, there's a market for this, right?
Yeah, I'd love to be charging more.
Yeah. Why did you decide? Interesting question here. You mentioned that there's a lot of other people in this space, and a lot of them choose to attack this problem via extensions or things in browser. Why did you decide to go the literally, I mean, if you guys go try Shift, which you should in the show notes, it's actually a desktop download. Why did Tobyn decide to attack the problem that way?
Well,
was it so you could show off Deskmetrics?
Well, yeah, that's how it originally, that's the angle we came from. However, I think if you look at, the browser model, when it comes to how sessions work, it's not an easy thing to build the experience like we built with Shift within the browser, just the technical restrictions on how browsers are built. And so we thought Shift was the best way to solve the problem. And I think what you'll see in the future versions of Shift is we're going to continue on the path of keeping that kind of productivity experience within Shift, rather than when you go to go to Drive and click on a dock and it pops out into your browser and you've got that issue again. We're going to try and incorporate more of those things within Shift. So obviously we don't want to recreate the browser, and that's something that I'm faced with a lot of questions, even just from my own team. Why don't we support Asana? Why don't we support Slack? Let's continue to add these type of integrations into Shift, and I think that as we do that, it's kind of like as the number of integrations goes to infinity, our Shift becomes a browser. Mm-hmm. So I really want to avoid that and continue to make the focus of Shift mostly on communication and a little bit of productivity as far as how it's linked to those primary mail accounts.
And then let's quickly jump back to Deskmetrics. If it is indeed, is Deskmetrics your main source of revenue to date?
No, it's not.
Well, so what is? Yeah, help us understand that. You have obviously SaaS products, but what is the main source?
So we have really three parts of the business. We have our app distribution business, where we're distributing our own apps as well as our customers' apps. We have Deskmetrics, which is our analytics solution, and then we have owned and operated software. So Shift being an example of one of those.
Okay, got it. So the majority is coming from your software distribution business, kind of what you were born with?
Yeah.
And that's the model. People can come pay you, app developers can come pay you for distribution, and you take whatever, either a cut or a percentage of spend or something like that. Yeah.
And I think we're on this path where as much as we love that business and it has been very good to us to ramp quickly over the years and help us build what we have today, it's not predictable. It's not consistent. We can't. It's really hard to continue to grow a business when you don't know how that will fluctuate on any given month. And so that's why you see our later products like Deskmetrics as well as Shift, where we're looking for recurring revenue.
Yep. What's your team size right now?
I think we're around 37-ish.
37. And where are you guys all based?
We're in Victoria, BC, on Vancouver Island, which is on the west coast of Canada.
Everybody or anyone out remote?
We have a small team in Poland and a small team in Brazil.
Why?
Honestly, they're just great people that we've come across in our physical lives, whether they were in Victoria or we've met them somewhere and we've just wanted to continue to work with them. And so we've brought them on as contractors in their hometowns remote.
Very cool. Well, hey, before we get into the final part of the show, let's put a little bit more spotlight on Deskmetrics here for a second. So, tell us more kind of about what it does for somebody listening that might be a perfect customer for you.
Yeah, so Deskmetrics is primarily a desktop software analytics platform. It has SDKs for Windows, Linux, and Mac, as well as some unique ones that are based on JavaScript for things like Electron, as well as extensions. So you integrate an SDK, and then a number of events are automatically tracked. The things from install to launch to heartbeats to uninstall, etc., as well as you can integrate your own custom events. One of the big value propositions that we have is attribution on the desktop space that I've already talked about, the ability to track a user from the web and onto desktop, their activity within the app, and how that relates back to your marketing campaigns, essentially. It's what we're using for Shift, and it's working phenomenally.
And what's the average customer paying you per month?
We have our pricing varies. I find in the SaaS business, pricing is always in flux, and we're definitely still searching for the right pricing. Yep. But I would say the average customer is probably paying us to the tune of about $500, and then we've got
annually, Tobyn, or monthly?
Monthly.
And what are the key kind of drivers you're using to get higher ARPUs from people? Is it seat based, or number of install based, or impression based, or what levers?
So previously, and how we started the business was the number of users. So the more users you have, the more expensive it is. And we had no gate on the number of events. And the idea being is that we believe you should track everything. So we don't want to stop you from tracking things just because you wanted to limit what you're paying Deskmetrics. And so what we realized is that it just doesn't work. We've got to change to a model where we've got real costs associated with events, and we see user bases that are small, highly valuable, and they want to track a lot of things. And so we're moving to a model now where it's a combination of users and events.
Got it. And what year did you launch Deskmetrics in?
2016.
Like late 2016 or early?
Yeah, I guess March or April. And I guess it should be noted as well that we've been building the technology and using it in-house for our distribution business for the 3 or 4 years before that.
Yep. And so do you have is that enough of a historical kind of sample size or historical cohort for you to be able to kind of pretty accurately predict lifetime value? Because that would lead to my next question of what you're willing to spend to acquire those customers.
Yeah, so we have a lot of predictive modeling that we use, and it's obviously we're using Deskmetrics as the underlying data store, and we use those in-house for our owned and operated products, but it's something that we're exploring as far as how can we open up the predictive analytics in a scalable way and let our customers use it as well.
Guys, I get asked all the time, Nathan, you host all these interviews, hundreds of them per month. How do you do them efficiently? And guys, the answer is simple. People always agree to my calendar, back-to-back meetings. I batch my interviews to stay very efficient. And the way that I do it is I use a tool called Acuity Scheduling at nathanlatka.com/schedule. And the reason I use them is very simple. They keep my no-show rate very low because they send out reminders about when the interview or the meeting is coming up. And also, they make it very easy to schedule time, right? I don't have to go back and forth via email 10,000 times with people I'm trying to meet with. Okay, nathanlatka.com/schedule. Helps me so much. And by the way, look, I have so many meetings. I'm the best in meetings. Okay, I do them back-to-back, very, very efficient. You guys know me. Many people say I'm the most efficient they've ever seen. Okay, so I use the tool. It's so efficient. And by the way, I got Gavin. I said, Gavin, he's the CEO. I said, I want a great deal for my people. He said, Nathan, well, most people get a 14-day trial. Isn't that great? I said, no. He's given us a 45-day free trial at nathanlatka.com/schedule. That's not going to stay up forever, so go get it now. nathanlatka.com/schedule.
Let's wrap up here, Tobyn, with your favorite book and some other things. These are the famous 5. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, number 1, what's your favorite business book?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
No.
Number 3, is there, besides your own, is there a favorite online tool you have, like HostGator?
HostGator? Favorite online tool? We're using InVision a lot right now.
Okay, InVision. Oh, that's design and product management, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that app. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
About 6.
Okay, and what's your situation? Married, single, do you have kids?
Married with kids.
Married with kiddos. All right, and are they, I always ask this question because parents always say, I can't launch a business because I have young kids, but then I have people like you on that are doing it. Are they young, or are they old, or are they out of the house?
They're 17 months apart, and their age 1.5. And
holy mackerel. So 2 young ones.
Yeah.
All right, and Tobyn, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Last question. Take us back 12 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
So my 20-year-old self really struggled with whether or not to get a degree in business or to get a technical degree in computer science or engineering. And I think if I was to go back, I would tell myself technical all the way, because learning business is a lot of fun. And I think there's a lot of value that comes with that process, learned in the real world as well.
You would have told your 20-year-old self that you had wished you got a technical degree?
I did get a technical degree, but it took me 6 years to figure that out.
Oh, got it. So you wish you got it earlier.
Yeah.
Awesome. There you guys have it from Tobyn. He wishes he got a technical degree earlier. Again, building Redbrick, fastest growing software company in Canada by third party. Launched in 2010, did about $200K. By 2015, doing between 10 and 20 million bucks in revenue. They're getting out of the space of kind of professional services and one-on-one consulting for distribution and moving into kind of SaaS plays with their new companies launched in 2016, Deskmetrics and Shift, each with several hundred, high hundreds, paying customers. Shift specifically about 800, paying $20 per year, about 16 grand there for good signs of early traction. Tobyn, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan.
If you enjoyed Tobyn today, go back and listen to Patrick yesterday. He breaks down alternative investment ideas, and I dig deep into his book deal where he negotiated a 10% royalty and a $100,000 advance. It would mean the world to me if you guys got any value from this episode, if you would go leave a review on iTunes right now and then subscribe. You know, I hustle like heck to get these episodes out every freaking day for you guys. And trust me, I love it. I would do it with no listeners, but boy, oh boy, it makes my day and it makes my team's day when we see great reviews and get your feedback. So thanks so much. Okay, Top Tribe, I love giving away free money. I feel like Oprah giving away cars, and I have something special for you today. How many of you have heard our super sharp guests talk about success they've had with Facebook and Google Ads? Well, all of you listening right now, yes, if you're listening, you get $100 in free AdWords. Here's how you get it, okay? Again, thanks for listening. Get the free $100 from Google right when you sign up with my website host provider, HostGator. Go sign up now to get your free money. HostGator.com/Nathan. Again, that's HostGator.com/Nathan. So guys, I'm so glad to be back in Austin. I just got back from a major tour of Southeast Asia. Went to Sydney, Bangkok, Bali, and Japan. And, you know, I always get sick when I travel. And this particular trip, my gosh, 15 different airports, 20 different hotels. I mean, imagine flushing in airport bathrooms. I was worried about germs and getting all the nutrition I need. I mean, finding a restaurant in Japan, difficult because nothing's in English. So it's hard enough to figure out the train system. But my point is, I had a guy named Drew Canoli on the show who said, Nathan, if you're concerned about that, take these little green packets with you. You just mix them once per day with water. They'll keep you super healthy. You get all your nutrients, and they'll keep you from getting sick. So I took them, and guys, they worked unbelievably well. I got no sickness, just mixed them with water once per day. They didn't make my water bottles all sticky. That's like nice. A lot of these mixers, they make them sticky. It was very clean and smooth. Took them once per day, never got sick. So they've got 11 superfoods, and they're perfect if you're not traveling, but you're just on the go from your office to work. So you can check them out at nathanlatka.com/juice. That's nathanlatka.com/juice.